So in the recent past, you have the Eight of Coins. So this might have something to do with work. It might have something to do with your knowledge base or your certifications in what you do, like your license or your diploma, or you were trained in something. You have skills and you have work ethic. You are able to be a hard worker or to meet your own goals if you are self-employed. It could also be some kind of a situation where someone or you have been misclassified as being an independent contractor when actually you are an employee, and you have realized at the end of the tax year that you have been screwed over by your boss or something to that effect, where in the past you felt pretty good about where you were at, or you didn't realize that they would go that far, or you thought you had a good boss, or you thought you had a good relationship with the people that you worked with. Perhaps something about all this has been a terrible surprise for you, which is why it has dealt you such a big blow. This could also be, here, let me get more information on it. Or if you own a business, you may have one of your employees trying to bring you to justice over something. That sounds weird, I know, but or trying to call something to your attention, or feels as though they were mistreated somehow. That's a very minor flip message there. Let's see. Or problems with receiving unemployment or something. Let me see. Tell me more about this Eight of Pentacles decision. Yeah, maybe for a while you have just kind of gone along with your job and tried your best not to create waves and just to remain peaceful. You may have had to speak up about something that was going on. And this could also be a family situation too, where before you were kind of laying low with it, or you didn't really want to create waves or create troubles. And so you may have kept something to yourself, or focused more on remaining on the sidelines or in the background rather than putting yourself out there. It may be that you have recently come to some major decision when it comes to work, or how you make money, or how you utilize your skills. You may have been promoted or had some kind of a celebration too. You have the Eight of Coins. Decision. Made some kind of a decision about work, or you have decided to be seen or to show off your skills, where before you were invisible. But then you have celebrate. So if you had decided to be seen more for what you do, or you decided to throw yourself out there more with possibly advertising, marketing, maybe before you were more in the background, but you have decided to put yourself in the forefront, or to advertise yourself or your skills, or you have had reasons to celebrate if you did that, where it only brought good results from that. If you are having something go on at the workplace that needs to be adjusted or dealt with, it seems as though it will end well if you just continue with the process. Or there was some kind of celebration with a graduation that you've had, with receiving a certificate, a license, getting everything together to create your own business or to make more money based off of your talents. Okay. Move all these aside. Your best possible outcome is the Queen of Blades. It seems as though if you need help from an authority figure or an expert in a field that you are not as familiar with, whether it's the legal world or the medical world or just with logistics of things, it seems as though you receive help or you have guidance. You did have guide earlier, or guidance. Let's see. Yeah, guidance. Don't be afraid to reach out and get information or help or advice in a situation in order to be able to move forward with it. This can also be an aspect of yourself. It may be that other people come to you for a verdict or advice or guidance in a matter or even a diagnosis. You should be acknowledged for your skills, your talents, and your knowledge that you carry. And again, what is helping you the most at this time is to look at things with a clean, clear, clinical eye to anything going on in your life. There may be some very complex emotions that come up for you, but try to look at them with more clarity. Or you may need to get clear on this matter by going to a counselor or someone who can help you. Even with things like interpreting your dreams or giving you another perspective where you tell them what's been going on, how you've been feeling, how you've been trying to deal with the situation, and they are able to give you a perspective that you are not able to give yourself because you are not neutral. Of course you're biased. You are in your own body. Let me get more on that. You may need to cut some BS from around you where before you were being overly kind or overly understanding or letting other people slack and then having to clean up their mess for them. And your best possible outcome is saying it's time to lay your foot down, or it's time to lay your sword down and say enough is enough. You're going to have to deal with your own mess. I am not going to deal with your mess anymore. You're a grown adult. You have free will. If you want this situation, whether it's a work situation, a family situation, or a romantic situation, it's almost like you've had enough. And it's important for you to lay down the law and say, this burden that I've been dealing with is actually your burden. It is not mine. And it is not my responsibility to deal with your mess for you or clean up after you all the time. And so you are going to have to do something about this on your own. But let me see if I get anything else. I know you Librans like to achieve peace in situations, and you don't always like to create waves unnecessarily. But when it's really necessary, you guys are more than capable of doing it. This is the Libra court card after all. This is a Libra card. This is an aspect of yourself that you can access when you really need to, when you know it's necessary. Let's see. And if you have been struggling with possible health coverage problems, whether it's through the VA or through Medicaid or your health insurance or your job site or your job situation, it seems as though your best possible outcome is you will get it, or this will be worked out in a just manner, or you will be able to get what you need. It may just involve the last little bit of jumping through hoops, having to do countless forms, making phone calls, all of that crazy stuff. But it will have paid off, even though it's extremely crunched and stressful and time sensitive. But it seems as though your best possible outcome is saying that it will work out, and your hard work on this matter with trying to knock all these things out or jump through all these hoops will have paid off and been worth it. Don't let anyone intimidate you. Now, let's see, anything else about the Queen of Blades? Awareness. If you have been confused on how much of this is yours, how much of this is a situation's, how much of this is somebody else's, it seems as though you receive ultimate clarity on the matter. You may even become aware of something that was hidden before, that was a mystery, but you receive information about it that opens up your eyes to the actual full situation that is going on. And therefore you can move forward from there because you know what you're dealing with. Your illusions may be shattered to a certain extent, but it's more important for you to face it for what it is. Let's see. Yeah. Or you become aware that something was an illusion. And so at least now you know what you're dealing with. It may even be a situation where you have been terrified that you have something really bad going on with you health-wise. Like, I don't know, you're afraid that you have cancer, or you're afraid that you're dying, or you're afraid that you have something that is untreatable, or something like that. And it seems as though perhaps the good news here as your best possible outcome is that you become fully aware, possibly by going to an expert, that what you have been fearing the most is actually not happening. And your fear of what was going on is actually an illusion, which is a good news. Very good news. Maybe you were dealing with a little bit of hypochondria, or because you didn't know and it was a mystery on what was going on for you. It could be anything. That's the thing about mysteries. You know, your mind, your imagination may have gotten completely out of control with this, imagining all sorts of worst case scenario problems that could be going on because something about your health issues has been a mystery or has been hard to diagnose or figure out. But your best possible outcome might be that you finally get a diagnosis, or the tests come in and it turns out that things are not as bad as you thought, or can be treated, or that the bills will be paid for, or that you will receive the help that you need. But let me see more. What was the illusion here? What exactly in this situation was an illusion? Here, let me pull one from here. This almost seems to be a medical reading for someone, but and just on a basic message to this is that your illusions will be shattered with clarity, and that no matter what, you will receive clarity, and then you can move forward because, again, you'll know what you're dealing with. What was an illusion? Ten of Blades. Yeah. It may have been that you were afraid you were dying, or it may be that you were afraid that a relationship was completely ending, or you were afraid that someone was betraying you or stabbing you in the back. Maybe because of past lifetime situations or situations in your own past where you have been betrayed, or people have been able to get away with it, with hurting you deliberately or ending a situation in a bad way. It may be that you have been extremely afraid that this is going to repeat itself, or that this is what's actually happening. But it turns out actually it may not be as bad as you think it is. And that a lot of these fears or paranoias or fears of betrayal or of something ending horribly is actually an illusion, which is really good news. Really good news. But it's also making you realize that there are aspects of your own mind or of your own subconscious that are interfering with you and making you go to states where you're completely uncomfortable when you don't have to go there. And so you are coming up with newer ways of understanding things and of addressing things with yourself in your own mind, where you do not let it get that far until you have proof. Until you have proof, it's a possibility or it's a fear, but that does not mean it's in reality at all. So, all right. So in the future, this is good news. This is the Six of Blades. Something is being resolved. You are able to cross over a difficult situation into a peaceful future. Any disagreements or any difficulty that you have faced because of extremely, possibly cruel, narcissistic people, or just people who are manipulative, is able to be resolved, decided, where you are able to move on. You will no longer be in that situation anymore, and you'll be on to a completely different situation in the future. If this is a situation with a family, whatever disagreements, cruel things said to each other, or feelings of betraying each other are able to be healed and resolved, where you can move together towards the future as a family and be able to work things out or come to a compromise or to look forward to better times ahead. It may even be that for some of you, you're thinking of moving to a new location. And you may also be in the process of starting this movement forward in the very near future in March, possibly by the end of March. You'll be moving forward. You will no longer be in this difficult situation that you have been in. Things are resolved. Either you get the verdict, you get the diagnosis, you have the judgment in court, and you receive the money that you're owed, or whatever it happens to be. If this is a divorce situation for someone, things are actually able to be resolved, because if you have children together, you are going to be saddled to each other for a number of years while you co-parent. And so because of this, you need to make sure that you can work out differences for the sake of the children, where you're not at odds with each other or using a child as a manipulative energy between the two of you. Even if it means having to go to a co-parenting coach or a official of some kind who is licensed or has the training involved to be able to help you come to a compromise. If this was a close to a divorce situation, this could be couples therapy or some kind of family counseling. This could also be hiring a mediator to mediate in a situation where things can be settled amicably instead of having a full-on disaster and war go on. If this is some kind of legal situation at work where you need to be compensated for something that you've had to endure, it should be able to be worked out where you receive what you deserve in this situation. Or just as a general message, things are getting better in the future, where things will be more peaceful. If there's been difficulty with being able to communicate, it seems as though you guys are learning and have the desire to work it out and figure out how to best communicate with each other. Or it could be a situation for someone where you're on the same shift as someone who is extremely hard to deal with, and it makes you not look forward to going to work. You dread going to work because it means you're going to have to work with this one person who is very difficult to deal with. It may just be that eventually you go to a higher up and you say, can you please put me on a different shift with a different person, where you don't have to deal with them. You both work or deal with the same situation, but you don't have to actually have them physically around you, so that you are able to peacefully move on. And this is interesting because in the picture, they're ice skating on what looks like that there are cracks in the ice with water starting to come up. That's kind of dangerous. It's tricky. It takes some tricky maneuvering. But they're also leaving a backpack behind. They're not taking that backpack with them. They're moving on without it. It may be that they're just ice skating for the day and eventually they'll go back to the bag and pick it back up and bring it home. But to me, metaphorically, this is saying you are choosing to leave baggage behind and to have a much lighter load. Where is it? You're leaving the mess behind. Where is it? It's eluding me. Somewhere in here. Maybe the computer's on it. Nope. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Yeah, you're leaving the baggage behind. You're leaving the mess behind. You're leaving the baggage behind. If it is just not doable, then you don't have to carry it. You don't have to carry it. It is not your responsibility. If you do have to meet certain deadlines or finish off a big mess, you will be able to do it where you are done with that now, and you don't have to take it with you, or you don't have to experience that in the future. Okay, so you right now, this is the only major arcana card in this entire reading. All the rest of them are either suits or minor arcanas. They are not majors. This is the only major. But I love this version of death because it is soft. It's not harsh. It's not, even though it's difficult, it definitely signifies a time of letting go, or a time of change or transformation, where things will no longer be exactly the way that they were before. Death can also signify transmutation and transformation for the better, but it is an emotional process that involves letting go of the past. But to me, this also is honoring the past as well. If you look at the picture, it looks like a grandmother with a granddaughter, and perhaps the little girl's mother and the grandmother's daughter has passed away, because in the background there's a woman that looks like this little girl's mom or this elderly woman's daughter, but she's smiling. She's smiling and looking at them as if to say, I know it's hard to let me go, but I am good where I'm at, and I love you with all my heart, and we'll see each other again in one form or another. And it's almost like the grandmother is telling the little girl wonderful stories about her mother. Maybe the little girl lost her mother too young, where she doesn't remember too much about her. And the elder grandmother is letting her know, your mother loved this, or your mother was like this, or she loved you very much, or she wanted the best for you, or she always made everyone laugh, or green was her favorite color. Where it is, the past has passed, but it is not forgotten. And just because the past is not forgotten doesn't mean that they are attached. It's that, where is it? Yeah, here we go. It's not attachment that is toxic for you at this point, because you are hanging on to the past too much, where you're living in the past instead of in the present. These two people in death are obviously living in the present. They are not overly attached or wanting to cling to what has passed to keep it here somehow. But that does not mean forgetting. You still carry those things with you. You still have that connection. It's just, it's not haunting you. It's able to be acknowledged. It's able to be honored, but also to live in the present. You may have lost someone or a situation that meant a lot to you. It was not necessarily a difficult, horrible situation that is ending. It may have some very beautiful memories associated with it, whether it's a marriage or a relationship or a family situation. Maybe that things are changing in the family, perhaps someone has recently passed away in the family that perhaps had some health issues. Or it can just be bringing the past into the present and being remembered in an honorable way. But this transformation that you're going through, where is she? Where's Cinderella? There we go. This transformation that you're going through is much needed, and it seems very beautiful. It seems like good times are ahead, or things will improve dramatically from how things have been. And you appreciate what has been given to you, or you appreciate the support that you have. Even though things are changing, it's a bittersweet sort of a change with this, or it's a remembering things with love kind of a change. But it seems as though you're accepting it rather well, and it's almost, again, time sensitive, or you knew that it was going to happen, and so it's easier to accept it. So in your surroundings, uh-oh, hang on, I'm going to go deal with my dog. Okay. All right, we were here. I'm definitely going to pick a clarifier before I go into that. This is in your surroundings. So let's see. Could it be that for somebody, someone you cared about was either given the wrong medication, or something about a surgery was botched, or something, complications happened in surgery, and this might be you, or it could be someone you know, or someone in the family, where they were misdiagnosed, given the wrong medication for the misdiagnosis, and it caused major problems. Or they went in for surgery for something, and something about the surgery was mishandled. Or and possibly you have had to battle this or deal with this, but it seems as though in the future something about this is resolved, or the negative symptoms, or the things, medical issues you are having to deal with because something was not done properly, is able to be healed or able to be corrected. You may have had to sue a doctor or a medical establishment because of this. If that is the case, it looks as though you get a settlement and it's able to be resolved. It would have been better if it had never happened in the first place, but you can't really do anything about that. That is in the past. Let's see. Tell me more about the Four of Cups in their surroundings. Okay. Okay. Or this could be a mental health issue too, either for someone close to you or for yourself. Okay, so in your surroundings, you have the Four of Cups. You could be the person that is looking sad or looking discouraged, or you could be the person that is offering them help. This could also be something to do with your diet too. Maybe you've been eating something that you weren't aware you were allergic to, and so you've been having to deal with health problems because of it, but it's also been affecting your emotions, or it's been affecting your mood. It may be that you are not drinking enough water, because if you look in the picture, the young person that is listening to music on probably an iPod or something, or on his phone. He looks very dissatisfied, very bored, very apathetic, just not hopeful, not inspired, not feeling great. Below him, he has spilled coffees. It's like somebody, maybe this is a child of yours or somebody in the family that has not been taking care of themselves. They've either been eating tons of junk food, they don't drink enough water, they're on the computer all the time or on their phone all the time, and it's affecting their mood because their body is perhaps malnourished or not getting enough of the proper nutrition that they need, or they're severely dehydrated, or they've become addicted to tech or to phones, computers, watching movies, and not actually being present in real reality around them. You may have been the person that has been trying to convince them to treat their body better, to drink more water, to snap out of it, to get away from the computer, away from the phone. Or you notice someone around you that you care about having issues with depression or with mental health concerns, and you want them to take care of themselves. You shouldn't have to be in a position of having to take care of someone else. You want to guide them or be a guide to show them how they can be motivated to take care of themselves. But it perhaps has been difficult for you to kind of get them to understand or to listen. Or someone may have been doing this to you. Maybe you smoke cigarettes and you have a partner that is constantly hounding you, telling you how you're slowly killing yourself, how you shouldn't smoke, it's bad for you, you have stinky breath, blah, 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 blah. This person seems more kind than all that, because oftentimes when we're trying to pull someone out of something, by remembering or reminding them of all of the negatives involved, it certainly doesn't motivate them to get better. If you constantly tell someone that they have stinky breath, you're making them feel crappy about themselves instead of actually helping. So maybe something about the approach needs to be changed. Maybe someone has been too combative when really they need to be more understanding. But how understanding do you have to be, and for how long? So, and also there's also that saying, you know, we all have something that we know we could be doing better. And when you constantly remind someone else about what they could do better, how they could improve, how they could care more, how they could take better care of themselves, there's always something within us that if you're going to, you have to practice what you preach. Or if you're going to bring to the attention of somebody all of the things that they're doing wrong, that also has to force you to look at your own self and what you could change about yourself. And so there might have been some fights or disagreements because someone feels extremely judged when oftentimes we see the things about other people that they could change, but we don't always see clearly in ourselves what we need to change. And someone may be refusing help or refusing advice because somehow they perceive it as someone is attacking them. Or maybe they should deal with their own problems instead of bringing to the attention somebody else's problems. I don't know. This is difficult. It feels difficult. It could be that you or someone else is going through a major transition right now. And sometimes, it's so difficult, especially with mental health issues. If you're dealing with chronic depression or someone else is, it's so easy for people on the outside who aren't experiencing it to say, just cheer yourself up, just change, just quit it, or just stop. It's not that easy. And so someone's approach to the situation may be completely ignorant on how difficult this really is, or as another analogy, just how difficult it really is to quit smoking, or to quit an addiction, or to quit a diet, that they know is not good for them. It's not easy. If it was that easy, they would have done it already. Especially with dealing with things like depression. It's easy to tell someone else to just snap out of it, but it's not like that. And so the person that you're dealing with may feel completely misunderstood. They may need to reach out and get a support group who has been through the exact same thing or is dealing with the exact same thing in order for them to heal and feel better, because then they're dealing with someone who actually has experienced it. There's something about the themes of all of this, or it may just be that you're just not happy with your surroundings, and there's something about your surroundings that is lacking, and it doesn't, I mean, you might have one friend or one person around that tries to get you to appreciate what you do have right now, but some part of you just knows that it's not for you anymore. But it's hard to transition to a completely new place or a new state of mind or whatever this happens to be. But with it, you have manifest and you have illuminate. It is possible for you to manifest the surroundings that you want, or to surround yourself with the energy that illuminates you, or to be illuminated to the possibilities in this situation. It may just be that you or someone else is hanging on to the fact that, or hanging on to the feeling that something is futile, or something, why bother? When actually, if you did bother, or if they did bother, there actually could be a transition towards a more healthy, more uplifting, clear-eyed way of seeing what's right in front of them. Someone may not be seeing what's right in front of them. And do you make the effort or not? Or do they make the effort or not? How long will this person stay in this state for? You know, it's if we look at it like this, the person that is feeling apathetic or depressed is facing the transition card. This person is going through a transition. This person is going through something that may be hard to articulate to other people. Something about this feels like it's not moving, or something has become too stagnant, or it may be that way because something is about to shift and transform. Maybe this mummy will crack open and a butterfly will eventually come out of it, but for now it's cocooning. This person may be cocooning or hermiting, probably not in the best way. They might be drinking a little bit too much, or what's the word? Indulging in escapism rather than actually facing whatever this is. And then on this side, there is a person that is hopeful or positive that is reaching out to this person saying, hey, if you could somehow make an effort, or if you could somehow come out of that cocoon, you could actually manifest a lot more than you are now, and I can help illuminate some things to you, or I can help you become illuminated. So let me pull one more on this situation. It may just be that somebody needs to back off just for a little bit or focus on themselves instead of pushing too much. If someone is stubbornly clinging to a state of transition, there isn't really anything you can do about it. It may be that the person is secretly hoping that they'll drive everyone away so they don't have to face something. Or it could be that they secretly long for someone to reach out, because maybe they struggle with feelings that nobody cares. Let's see, how can this situation be resolved? Or what should they do about this situation? Commune. Maybe if it's someone else, take them to some place they've never been before, or take them outside of their normal routine, and that may help them to open up. And the same goes for you if you are in a state of difficulty where it's hard to get out of ruts or patterns. It may help to summon up a little bit of willpower just to take yourself out of it physically into a different kind of an environment where you can commune with nature, commune with possibly one friend that you take with you, commune with yourself to see things in a different way, to open your eyes up to what's on the horizon for you or for them. Okay? So your hope is for the Three of Coins. Your hope is for your financial situation to improve, or for new money or more money to be able to come in, or to see growth from exercising your talents and showing your talents to other people. I believe you got another Three of Pentacles in here. It may be saying that you need to overcome stage fright and really put yourself out there for what you do and what your talents are. It may be that in the past you've been hiding, or you have been staying in the background rather than putting yourself out in the spotlight. And it seems to be saying that you wish to put yourself more out in the spotlight or to be acknowledged for what you give to situations. And this is your hope, is that you will see growth in this area. And your general outcome, it seems as though you're still mourning something. There is the Five of Cups. There is some kind of a situation you're going through in March that is very difficult and involves having to let go of things that have passed, or letting go of loss, or letting go of disappointment. Letting go of disappointment, letting go of the fact that perhaps something in here was an illusion. This is all part of moving on. This is all part of transitioning forward towards the future. This seems like the last little bits of accepting the fact that something is over, or that you need to focus on what you still have rather than what you have lost. Let me pick more on that. Tell me more about the Five of Cups. There's somebody in the background. Yeah. If you have lost somebody, specifically through death, it seems as though they're still around, or they're a guide of yours now. So you don't necessarily have to worry about them being completely gone. They may be gone from the 3D, but it seems as though they still watch over you, or they still, it's almost like they've become your angel now. Because behind this woman, I don't know if you can see him, there's a man who's illuminated, who's in black and white. This looks, let's look if there's a, yeah, it doesn't say a name on the gravestone, but seems as though this may be the person that she is mourning or missing. And he's still there, just like how in death, this little girl's mom is still there in black and white, and she has a halo around her head too. In both of these pictures, both of these spirits of these people who have passed on are smiling, and they have halos around their head in golden light. They want, if you have lost someone, they want you to know that they are good where they are. They love you dearly, and they are happy. They are not unhappy where they are, and they want the best for you. And they want you to realize that you are extremely loved, and you don't have to be sad. You don't have to be sad. Be sad if you need to be sad, but eventually you have to accept the transformational process and be able to let go of disappointment, grief. It seems as though you have some pretty powerful spirit guides. Oh, Something just came up on my computer. Weird. Okay. So let me pick more on the Five of Cups. Enchantment. It seems as though you're hanging on to the loss of something without paying attention to the magic that's right in front of you. That's what it seems like to me. It seems as though there's something you're not seeing that is right there in front of you. And it may be that you have become stuck in a feeling of disappointment. And it seems as though your guides are not upset at you. They're just trying to get you to see things more clearly, or to see what's actually available to you. Maybe that you're looking at disappointment so much that you're not aware of what's available to you right in front of you. Okay, let me pull one last little message and then I'll let you go. Desire. Guidance. There it is again. You desire for some kind of an outcome, or you desire something that perhaps you miss or you feel is gone. But it seems as though your guides, your spirit guides, or you are being guided, or you are able to find guidance if you reach out for it. Or you are guided in going after what you desire. Let me find out more about this desire. Impermanence. Okay, you are being guided in how to let go of desires that you seem to be clinging to, or trying to hang on to, or trying to possess. When things are impermanent, desires are impermanent. Sometimes our desires change, or it's like your spirit guides, or you are being guided to accept the flow of things more than trying to actually hang on or possess. Okay, I wish you guys all the best, and hopefully that resonated for someone or helped someone in some way. And I'll see you guys soon. Okay, take care. Bye.